On the streets with Baltimore police, responding to a domestic disturbance call. As officers tried to gather information, the scene starts to turn. Tempers flaring after an alleged fistfight among family members. Some involved start shouting at officers.
That's my son, for real. Who did do your homework?
4 years ago, police tell us there would have been arrests here. But now, a focus on de-escalation.
One of the men came in kind of hot. What does your training tell you in that situation?
Try to stay calm and try to keep the party separated.
Baltimore PD is trying to change because they have to. In the wake of the protest over the death of Freddie Gray, who died in 2015 from injuries sustained in police custody, the Justice Department took a hard look at Baltimore PD's tactics and found widespread civil rights violations. That led to the consent decree in 2017, mandating limits on use of force, enhanced civilian oversight, and more de-escalation training.
There's more of a community-oriented approach to everything.
Veteran officer Rista Koikoi thinks the changes are working, but a recent survey shows some patrol officers feel vulnerable. Since the consent decree was implemented, some Baltimore cops have complained that they're apprehensive now about using force, even making a good arrest, because they're not sure if the department is going to have their back.
The perception that you have to be overly aggressive and strong to enforce law is wrong.
Ray Kelly is one of the community organizers who has helped monitor the changes.
If you were to grade the consent decree, what grade would you give it?
I would give the consent decree a C-.
Why?
I think the process itself is slow beyond slow.
4 years in and millions of dollars later, we asked residents in West Baltimore, the most violent area of the city, if they notice change.
I have not noticed a difference. I feel like there's a lot of resistance.
Some say things have gotten worse.
When I say Baltimore PD, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Phoniness, aggression, targetism, racism.
But Kelly maintains there is some progress.
I can only reflect on the riots and unrest around the country following the George Floyd murder. We didn't have clashes with the police department.
And though some are critical of the pace of change, even Baltimore police acknowledge real change will take time.
It takes like a generation to see that change. You need kids to actually grow up, see what we're about, see what we do.
Trying to overcome decades of mistrust, day by day. Tom Llamas, NBC News, Baltimore.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.